Ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome to the Festo booth located in Esslingen, near Stuttgart. The sun is shining, hopefully also at your place. Good to have you in our live session. This is Festo. My name is Dorothy Gelmar, and I'm the one with the questions. Which questions, you ask? Your questions. We want interaction during this live session, which will take 30 minutes. So if there is something appearing in your mind, please send the questions via the chat function, and I will hand them over to our experts at the end of this session. Yeah, what is it about? What are we focusing on in the next 30 minutes? We will share with you how Festo can support you to make your process equipment more efficient, productive, and reliable. And these are our experts, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to introduce Alex Vargas and Patrick Newball. Hello, Alex. Hello, Patrick.
Hi, Doro.
This is your stage. Have fun and pose your questions, ladies and gentlemen.
Great. Thank you, Doro, for the kind words and the introduction. And welcome to our visitors also online. Welcome to our session. My name is Alexander Vargas. I'm responsible for the product line process control. And together with my colleague Patrick, we are excited today actually to guide you through the product offering from Festo, covering our infrastructure, selected products, and also looking into the future, how they apply into the, according to the requirements nowadays the process automations have on the products and also services. So at the end of the day, our intention is to show you how Festo can contribute and support you, dear customer, in order to make your process equipment more reliable and by this also more efficient. Talking about process equipment, let's start first with a reflection about the importance of process equipment. Process equipment, of course, regardless whether this is a small-scale skid or a large-scale skid, for example, of course, they play a major role in process plants. Malfunctions, shortfalls, or other disturbances can lead to costly production losses and also even dangerous situations. So if you add this to today's globalization, for example, then it is a fact that process plants, and by this also the process equipment, can be on remote areas all over the world. So if you combine this, of course, it sounds obvious that it's important that your supplier for products and services for process automation for your process equipment has to be has to have reliable products, has to have a worldwide quickly availability of the products as well, but also fulfill, and this is important in process automation, fulfill also the requirements in terms of certificates and approvals for the local countries, for example, especially when it comes to hazardous locations, explosion areas, and also safety. So at Festo itself, we can show you how Festo can support you by covering all these topics. So over the last decades, actually, Festo has developed a strong infrastructure in sales, in production, as well as also in even technical engineering centers. Today, we count on own subsidiaries in more than 60 countries, 12 global production centers, 6 logistic hubs, and also technical engineering centers, as said, close to our customers where we can develop also customized products. So this is the backbone we have at Festo to support you with products and services. So let's come to the first topic first, products. On this part, I would like to give you on a snapshot, on a high-level view, an overview about what we can offer in terms of products for the process automation. On this wall, we are showing in a very schematic way the automation pyramid. So what Festo can offer is starting from the bottom of the automation pyramid, we cover process valves such as ball, butterfly, knife gate, as well as also angle seat valve and pinch valves. When it comes to the actuation, we cover pneumatic actuators for rotary as well as for linear actuators. On the control devices, we have limit switch boxes for on-off applications, as well as also positioners for control applications. The pilot valve itself can be either attached to the actuator as a Namur valve, or can be also stacked up into what we call a valve terminal, making it more compact and of course more centralized in that way in the field itself. And when you combine also the valve terminal together with remote I/O, so that you can get the input and output signals, analog as well as also digital signals from the field, then it gets to more intelligent product. It can also be outside or inside the control cabinet. And the control cabinet is something we also offer to our customers in a customized way. Every control cabinet actually looks more or less different because it always addresses different requirements from the market. Finally, touching with HMIs, also the visualization of the processes itself. And of course, something needless to say that for all pneumatic actuation, we have the suitable air preparation, as well as the tubings and fittings for the connection of the devices among themselves. And also on the electrical side, the cables and connectors, which are also important. So this is, of course, a basic, very schematic view, as I mentioned at the beginning, because it's very, very wide range of products. And this is what we would like to get more in depth right now. So I hand over to my colleague, Patrick. Would you like to take over from now and to show our customers and visitors what we can offer based on this portfolio, what I just briefly mentioned?
Yes, thank you, Alex. One of the main motivations that we had at Festo is to support our customers globally with solutions. And as Alexander Vargas already showed a few minutes ago, this is possible because we have a global footprint. Now, the question is, how do we do that? We do it with a technological neutrality. This means we have both pneumatic technology as well as electrical technology. When we combine these two disciplines, we're able to come up with process automation solutions. I would like to go through this reactor, which is one of the main process equipments found in the process industries, and give you like a small roundabout of what is the Festo portfolio, which is able to cover a normal, typical process equipment itself. Starting from the angle seat valves, going up to quarter turn actuators with sensor boxes, position indicators, pilot valves, pinch valves in a serial mode, linear valves, as well as linear actuators. At some point in time, you would like to gather all the signals coming from these components and pass it through a remote I/O, which is something that you can see below here at this display. And the actuation, of course, being made pneumatically. This is the start in order to cover a field automation solution at the field level of the process equipment itself. At some point of time, you, OEMs, and end users would like to visualize and control the application or control the process equipment itself. And for that, Festo has brought up with some other nice solutions as well, which come up with the visualization as well of the equipment. You can see it here on the display, visualizing the reactor. And how do we do that? This is a good question itself. It comes up with the so-called module type package. A module type package is basically a library for visualization and the application itself software that we can embed in our controllers at the field level as well. And this made easy the programming at the upper control system, for example, and the connectivity to upper control systems, PCS, for example, independently of the supplier of the process control system itself. This, at the end of the day, saves money, time, and resources for the programmers, since the libraries embedded in the controllers are able to be used in the programming of the application and visualization itself. This is something that we have thought and have learned from the market, from our customers worldwide, and it is something that also is being applied for the so-called modular, or the automation of modular plants, package units, and based on that, Festo has brought out this kind of libraries for the application itself and the visualization of the equipment. 8% of our turnover is being invested in innovations. 8% is invested in research and development. And with this, I already show you only what is part of our own current portfolio. The question now is, Alex, is there something more coming in the next years or maybe by tomorrow in terms of innovation at Festo?
Well, yes, thank you very much, Patrick. Exactly. Innovations, important topic, especially to keep the pace with the market and also the trends which are being popping up, let's say, emerging day by day in the market. So, and of course, as mentioned by Patrick, 8% of our turnover is invested in R&D. And I would like to show you two products I selected out of the range we are launching into the market in 2021, this year. And these are two products which are addressing specific needs in the process automation area. And I would like to start on this side with our positioner CMSH. What you see here is a typical configuration of a butterfly valve, a quarter turn actuator, and a positioner, so for control applications. And we have here this CMSH. The CMSH is a two-wire positioner which actually completes the lineup of positioners we have at Festo. We already had a three-wire positioner called CMSX, but this is for general purpose and standard applications. Now, when it comes to chemical industry, petrochemical, mining, and more demanding applications in terms of robustness of the product, plus, of course, certificates, explosion-proof safety, you name it, then the CMSH is the answer for that. The CMSH starts, just to make it brief, I would like to touch on three specific topics. The one is that we have a die-casted aluminum housing, pretty robust for these applications. You will see here on this display that we have the electronic visualization display is also large, so it is easy for the operator. And indeed, very often these positioners are installed in different orientations in the plants, depending on how the pipes are going through. And here we have even the capability to rotate the indication on the electronic display itself by 90 degrees so that in any position it is installed, the operator will have an easy access to the figures. So beside the housing, an optical indicator and so on, standard, let's say, parameters or characteristics of the product. Let's get to the second one. We actually have in the CMSH2 embedded installed microcontrollers. With this, one of the microcontrollers addresses the standard applications, the standard functions of a positioner. So it addresses the algorithm and then also the controlling of the process valve itself or the actuator. But the second one is reserved for actually additional diagnostic functions, is monitoring also the status of the actuator and also the electronics inside. So by this enables you also to get a lot of information related to diagnostics. And last but not least, we have also in the CMSH2 embedded pressure sensors inside, so that continuously we are measuring the pressure inside the chambers of the quarter turn actuator or the linear, by the way. It works, of course, for both of these type of actuators. We are measuring the pressure inside, and by this, of course, can also detect additional malfunctions, potential problems in the future, and by this also address a little bit more the predictive maintenance in this case. The CMSH is just one side, actually, of the novelties, because it goes along in a bundle on a second product, which is the VTOP, what you have here. The VTOP is a modular equipment where additionally, if you need more than just the positioner itself, you have also the possibility to add a module like a booster, a filter regulator, or even also the pilot valve for emergency shutdown applications, for example. So with this, you have an additional modularity, and by the way, the most important part is that you actually don't have and don't require any additional fittings or tubings. You see, you have one central air channel, and all the air channel is guided inside the modules itself, so that by this it gets, of course, sturdy, robust, and it makes, of course, installation and commissioning much more efficient and less time consuming. Coming from the CMSH and also the VTOP, as I said, it addresses control applications for quarter turn as well as for linear actuators. The second novelty I would like to show you over here is our angle seat valve. Our angle seat valve VZXA was launched 3 years ago in a configuration of stainless steel actuator with a stainless steel valve housing. But back then, we already counted and built up on a modular interface, actually, which would enable us what we actually are releasing this year. Additional materials, Like you see here, the actuators can also be out of polymer. So for example, even more corrosion applications, so even when weight is important, or even, of course, more cost efficient. Plus, there is also the process valve itself, the valve element made out of brass. And by this, you can, you see, combine whether polymer with the brass. You can still, of course, use stainless steel with stainless steel, or something which is actually pretty common is a stainless steel process valve with a polymer actuator as well. This is related to materials. We have also additional interfaces. We are expanding our angle seat valve on the stainless steel applications with clamp and welded ends. This is something important for the cosmetics and biopharma applications. And last but not least, of course, adding additional sensor for end position detection, end position adjustment, as well as also the piloting valve. So by this, the angle seat valve VZXA gets much more complete, and it addresses the needs of the process industries in several areas. Well, so these are the news I wanted to show to you. And well, Patrick, these were two highlights of our product portfolio. Now tell us, there are some buzzwords in the market today about digitalization, engineering tools, and so on. What do we have to offer in this area?
Yes, Alex, indeed. Digitalization is one of the key words that we've been hearing lately since the last 4 or 5 years. The question is, the way I understand digitalization is, digitalization has to have a clear purpose. A clear purpose has to be identified by suppliers in order to generate a real benefit for our customers. We have been screening the market, and during the screening of that market, we have found out that one of the main areas where our customers, OEMs for example, would like to get support in a digital way is in the phase of engineering and design. And in the area of engineering and design, we have come up also with some tools that will ease the engineering process of our OEMs and end users as well in some cases, in order to gain time and being faster with the time to the market when they launch a new process equipment. This approach, in which Alexander Vargas is going to show you, it's based also in a very wide range of process equipments, based, for example, on reactors, in solid liquid separation displays, in scrubbers. These are just the main name of process equipments in which you can apply the following tools that Alexander Vargas is going to present to you in a few minutes. Alex?
Yeah, of course. Thank you, Patrick. And I would like to show you just one tool which helps a lot for process engineers when it comes to the selection of process valves. This is a configurator we developed. Why? Because especially we know that in process, whenever a process plant is being developed or designed, and also the process equipment for this, then we have a lot of time-consuming selection process of the suitable process valve. We developed this, what I show you here. This is a KVZA, is how we call it. It's a selection tool configurator for butterfly valve assemblies. So you go to the tool, you select whether you need an actuator or not, how, for example, if you need a sensor box, limit switch position detection in this case, then you can select which kind of butterfly valve you need, whether this is a wafer tile type or a lug type, for example. It also shows you all the parameters, so the pressure ranges, the valve diameter, disc materials, and so on. Then you go follow through the different steps. It really guides you step by step through the process, also whether this is a double acting or single acting application. And it's showing you, as you see here in the chart, also the torque curves. So at the end, well, you continue step by step. You add the actuator, you add the pilot valve, the limit switch boxes. Check always that everything is as you require. It also provides you the 3D model, and at the end, it shows you also an order code. As you see, whenever you click, if you are online and then, on our system, and you click on this tool, ordering code, immediately generates a production order in our facilities, so that all these components are being assembled together, tested, and shipped to your site. So by this, of course, making it, and you can do it from your desk and don't have to need the interaction, whether with us or on the phone, and especially not anymore with catalogs like it was in the past. This is just one example, KVZA for butterfly valve. There is also KVZB for ball valves. And even there's another tool so that you can select if you have a process valve already installed. Then you can select, based on this process valve, also the automation equipment from our side. So, Patrick, this was just on a nutshell, to say it that way, just a configurator what we have. So, but come back to this digitalization topic, condition monitoring, I think a key word you would like to highlight.
Yes, Alex, indeed. I started a few minutes ago my presentation talking about digitalization with a clear purpose. Digitalization with a clear purpose on the engineering side or phase has been already explained by Alexandra Vargas. Now, what is the role of digitalization when it comes to operation? Our approach is to understand the process equipment itself and which components are critical for the operation of that one. We can take a look, for example, at this solid liquid separation display. It's a showcasing basically a process very commonly found in the process industries. And by doing so, you can take a look together with the customer, with our OEMs, which components inside this equipment itself are critical, with which purpose, in order to find out and monitor specifically that special component which needs to operate 100% every year, every hour. In this case, for example, we were able to find out with the customer that the process control valve is the responsible for achieving a higher productivity. And by, for example, simulating a failure, which is something that you can take a look, for example, at this display here, we are able to find out at some point in time, together with the customer, which specific components we need to monitor every time. Why are we telling you this? Well, this is something that is very crucial in order to increase the overall equipment efficiency of a process equipment. And this is something also that we take very much into consideration when it comes to have a digital solution. By visualizing a process equipment every time and taking a special look at that specific component, we can sometime in time generate a process, a system that condition monitors and is being able to detect anomalies in time. Anomalies in time in order to find out with predictive maintenance, when at some point in time you need to stop your machine or your process equipment in order to avoid that the whole process stacks. And this is one of the approaches, what we call, when it comes, for example, to digitalization with a clear purpose. This is basically our main approach at Festo when it comes to deliver the solution in the market. And with those examples, we have been able to, in the market together with our customers, to find out solutions for increasing the productivity of our plants. With this being said, there is a moment in time where we would like to share with you as well our main approach at Festo. And Alex, together with me today, we were able to show you and bring you through all the solutions that Festo is able to support, starting, for example, from the infrastructure.
Yep.
Making pretty clear that our global footprint is there at your disposition. And basing on that, you're going to be able to get access to the field automation components in order to generate a field automation solution at the process equipment itself. Bringing from that point of view to the visualization and the software programming of visualization and the application itself, thanks to the module type package, which is something that Festo is pushing pretty strongly within the VDI. And by helping as well our OEMs to get independency in terms of which kind of process control system they need to be attacked to. And bringing from that point of view, we were also able to bring you through the digitalization of components and the condition monitoring of our process equipments, of your process equipments. And based on that, we basically encourage you to ask our questions, to talk to our customers, to our colleagues locally, and also to encourage and challenge our approach of digitalization and the increase of productivity at our process equipment. With these words, I would like to maybe pass some words to you, Alex, to close the session as well.
No, just thank you also for the explanations. Thank you also for attending our show, which was actually pretty wide coverage what we brought across to you. And I would like now to know from Doro whether there are any questions from the chat.
First of all, thank you very much for showing these innovations and integrated solutions to our customers, to our guests, to our viewers. Thank you. We received questions. I double-check. There are 2, so thank you very much for that. The first question from Marcus: what is the correlation between the approach you showcased and the automation of modular plants? I pass this question to you. Who wants to answer?
I think modular plants.
Yeah, modular plants.
Go ahead.
Okay, thanks, Alex. I'm happy to hear that question. The correlation between what Festo is being able to offer today to the market and modular plants is basically playing into the favor of our approach. What does that mean? We basically Festo has the portfolio to equip process units, model type package units, modular plants with the field components that we have in our portfolio. For example, process valves, linear actuators, position indicators, remote IOs, the actuation via pneumatic control or electrical control. And all this, like in a Lego system, could be implemented at the field of the process equipment itself. By bringing also the model type package functions, it's also possible to help the OEMs and the end users to integrate that specific process equipment into the process control system of the complete plant. This was not the case a few years ago, but this approach, we're basically being able to play our strength to bring the major benefit to the market when it comes to process equipment and the modular approach, Doro. This is what I would like to share with you based on that question. Yeah.
Thank you for that, Patrick. And there is another one. The solutions presented, are they only for chemical reactors?
Well, I can take from now, if you want. Of course, what I mentioned at the beginning, so Festo addresses numerous amount of different and various industries all over the world, addressing also different geographical regions. And of course, this question is whether this is specifically for chemical. Well, chemical has specific requirements in terms especially of hazardous locations, explosion areas, as well as safety. But when it comes, for example, of course, to other industries, like in the mining industry, you require stainless steel because of corrosion reasons. In the food and pharma, you require stainless steel, for example, due to sanitary and hygienic applications and reasons. So, of course, this is important, what I mentioned in the beginning. With our own sales force and the project engineers, we are all over the world and address the different needs. And we go back to our portfolio, of course, as you have seen, which is a wide range of products which address the different needs of the different industry segments. So the answer actually is no, it doesn't work specifically for chemicals. You have to select the proper products for the chemical industry, but we have also the same for food, for mining, for pulp and paper and gas and so on. So because process industry is actually an industry sector, it's not just an industry segment itself. So it requires, of course, a huge amount of specific products, and we go back to our portfolio and get and configure them suitable for the application itself. Yeah.
Perfect. I just check if there is another question. No, but you know what? Ladies and gentlemen, you have the opportunity to get in contact with all our experts, with Patrick Newball, with Alex Vargas, and many, many more. Use the chat function on our company portfolio. There you can find all our experts in different languages. So choose one. You can choose a video chat, a normal chat, a call. Everything is possible. And for sure, you can also get to know more information about all our products. And you can find our session agenda. There is more to come today and also tomorrow here on our Festo company website at ACHEMA Pulse. I say again, thank you, Alex. Thank you, Patrick, for these great insights. These are the gentlemen you should contact to get more information, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully see you at our next session. Stay tuned and bye-bye. Greetings from Esslingen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.